The race for the 2026 World Cup Golden Boot is absolutely on fire. And some of these goal scorers are already out. Senegal's Ismaïla Sarr is gone, knocked out with 4 goals to his name. Germany and the Netherlands both dumped out on penalties. And right at the very top, there has been a twist. Lionel Messi has just retaken the lead, striking his 7th goal to move 1 clear of Kylian Mbappé, who sits 1 behind on 6. We are going to count them all down, from the fewest goals right up to the leader. So stay with us all the way to the end to see exactly how Messi got back in front. We start with the boy everyone came to see, Lamine Yamal. Spain's 18-year-old genius announced himself at this World Cup with his first ever goal against Saudi Arabia, instantly becoming one of the youngest scorers in the entire history of the tournament. Just 1 goal so far, but the panic he causes is worth so much more than that. Every single time he drifts infield, defenders freeze, and the whole stadium rises to its feet. The Golden Boot race already has its wild card, and the frightening part is that he is only just getting started. Next, England's beating heart, Jude Bellingham, 2 goals and an assist already, dragging the 3 Lions to the very top of their group. He struck first in the opening win over Croatia, then produced a goal and an assist to sink Panama almost by himself. Wherever the biggest moment of a match is hiding, Bellingham is standing right in the middle of it. He may not lead the scoring charts just yet, but nobody on this planet bends an entire game to his will quite like him. On home soil, the host nation has its hero, Mexico's Raúl Jiménez, 2 goals at this World Cup, striking first against South Africa and then again against Ecuador, and with them he climbed to become Mexico's 2nd highest goal scorer of all time. In front of a deafening home crowd that never stops singing his name, the veteran striker is carrying the hopes of an entire nation squarely on his shoulders, and he is answering that call every single time he steps out onto the pitch. Now the goals really start to flow. Canada's Jonathan David is up to 3. The co-host nation was written off by almost everyone before a single ball was even kicked, and their ice-cold striker has dragged them into the knockout rounds almost single-handedly. Clinical, calm, and absolutely deadly, the moment he gets a sniff inside the box, David has turned Canada from tournament tourists into a team that the biggest names in the world genuinely do not want to face. Morocco are back on the biggest stage, and they have unearthed yet another gem. Ismaïla Sarr, 3 goals, the midfielder turned matchwinner, powering one of the most thrilling teams in the entire competition. Fearless in possession and arriving late into the box like a natural-born striker, Sarr has Morocco fans dreaming of another deep, history-making run. 3 goals from central midfield, and right now the whole of Africa is watching his every single touch. The biggest fairy tale of the entire tournament belonged to Dr. Congo, and their hero was Yohan Wissa, with 3 goals of raw, fearless quality. Nobody on earth had this team anywhere near the knockout rounds, and Wissa bullied seasoned defenders like he had done it his whole life. But the dream is now over. England ended it in the round of 32, and Dr. Congo are out. 3 goals from a striker the football world barely knew, and a run we will remember for years. Germany arrived at this World Cup chasing one thing only, the trophy, and Kai Havertz led their line with 3 goals, including a brutal opening brace. Tall, technical, and lethal in the air, he looked every inch a tournament star. And then came the shock. Germany were dumped out on penalties by Paraguay, one of the great upsets of the whole competition. 3 goals for Havertz counts for nothing now. One of the giants has fallen, and this draw has blown wide open. The Netherlands had their own 3-goal star in Cody Gakpo, direct, powerful, and a nightmare to handle one-on-one. He detonated in the group stage and kept right on scoring into the knockouts. But the Dutch story is finished. Morocco knocked them out on penalties, the very same Morocco of Ismaïla Sarr, and the Netherlands are heading home. 3 goals for Gakpo, and yet another heavyweight crashing out of this unforgettable World Cup. And Brazil, of course, never stop at just one weapon. Alongside the brilliance of Vinícius, Matheus Cunha has 3 goals of his very own. Explosive, unpredictable, and absolutely bursting with flair, Cunha gives the Seleção a second forward that opposing defenses simply cannot plan for. When Brazil have 2 men this dangerous, both firing at the exact same time, the rest of the world really should be very, very worried about what is coming next. And then there is a man still rewriting the record books in his 40s. Cristiano Ronaldo, now up to 3 goals at this World Cup. It began with a stunning brace in Portugal's 5-0 demolition of Uzbekistan, and then, on the 2nd of July, he struck again against Croatia. With those goals, he became the first player in history ever to score at 6 different World Cups, passing the legendary Eusebio as Portugal's all-time World Cup top scorer. Age means absolutely nothing to him. The machine just keeps on scoring. So with the group stage now behind us, here is exactly how the Golden Boot race stands right now. Lionel Messi has edged back in front on 7 goals, with Kylian Mbappé just 1 behind on 6. Kane and Haaland are lurking a step further back on 5, and a hungry chasing pack still has absolutely everything left to play for. Now we climb up to 4 goals, and straight away this race hands us its cruelest twist. Senegal's Ismaïla Sarr, 4 goals at this World Cup, terrorizing full-backs with a devastating blend of raw pace and end product. But here is the gut punch. Senegal are already gone, knocked out by Belgium in extra time in the round of 32. 4 goals in the net, and Ismaïla Sarr is going home. Proof that at a World Cup, no lead is ever safe. France are so ridiculously deep that they carry multiple weapons at once. Ousmane Dembélé has 4 goals all of his own, utterly unplayable when he cuts inside onto his stronger foot, a genuine nightmare for any defender in a one-on-one. The reigning Ballon d'Or winner is proving to the entire planet exactly why he holds that crown, and the terrifying thing is he is only 4 goals into what could still become a truly historic personal tournament. Brazil's Vinicius Jr. is finally delivering on the very biggest stage of them all. 4 goals, electric, unstoppable in transition, dancing past defenders as if they simply are not even there. He is now level with Ronaldo, Neymar and Jairzinho for the most goals ever scored by a Brazilian in a single group stage. For years, we waited to see him do it for the national team, and this, at long last, is the Vinicius the whole world was waiting for. But not every dangerous weapon actually scores. Michael Olise leads the entire tournament in assists with 5. That is the most by any player at a single World Cup since 1966. Only Pelé, with 6 back in 1970, has ever bettered it. 0 goals, so he is no Golden Boot contender, but he is pulling every single string for France, and Mbappé himself calls him the player of today and of tomorrow. Take his assists away, and France simply do not function. England's Harry Kane is up to 5, and he made history along the way, overtaking Gary Lineker to become his country's all-time leading World Cup goalscorer. Ruthless, ice-cold, endlessly clinical, and somehow still climbing. Every single time England need a goal, need a moment, need a leader to stand up, the captain steps forward and delivers it. And right now Harry Kane has one hand firmly on the Golden Boot, with absolutely no intention of ever letting it go. Erling Haaland finally has his World Cup stage, and my word, is he devouring it. 5 goals of pure, brutal power and precision. The very moment that ball arrives to him anywhere inside the box, you can already call it a goal. For years, the only question anyone ever asked was whether the machine could truly do it on this stage at a World Cup. Well, 5 goals in, that particular debate is now completely and utterly over. Which brings us to the man just 1 goal off the top. Kylian Mbappé, 6 goals and 2 assists to his name. He caught Messi with a clinical, ruthless brace in France's 3-0 win over Sweden, and for one glorious moment he was level at the very summit. But it did not last, because Messi hit straight back. So Mbappé sits second, 1 single goal off the lead. Still the fastest, most lethal forward on the whole planet, and just 1 strike away from snatching that crown right back. And here he is, the man back out in front. At 38 years of age, Lionel Messi, 7 goals. Mbappé had hauled himself level at the top, but Messi answered in the cruelest way, striking again against Cape Verde to retake the lead outright. And along the way, he passed Miroslav Klose to become the single greatest goalscorer the World Cup has ever seen. One last dance on the grandest stage of them all, and right now, it is Lionel Messi who leads the race for the Golden Boot. 7 goals to 6, and it all comes down to the very finest of margins. Mbappé drew level at the top with that ruthless brace against Sweden, but Messi struck straight back, and the greatest goalscorer the World Cup has ever seen is now back out in front, 1 clear. 2 legends, 1 crown, and a Golden Boot race that is going right to the very wire. So there it is. With the knockout rounds now upon us, Lionel Messi is back out in front on 7 goals, 1 clear of Kylian Mbappé on 6. Kane and Haaland are lurking just behind on 5, and this race is still wide open. So who do you think lifts the golden boot when it is all said and done? Is it Mbappé? Is it Messi? Or does someone come flying through the pack? Drop your pick in the comments right now and subscribe to The Vault so you never miss a single goal of this incredible run-in.